Remaining inward, let's listen to this affirmation for self-healing. This week is on self-control. If a lake is made to feed into too many streams, it will soon become drained. Similarly, if a person's heart energies are fed into countless streamlets of desires, they too become drained, eventually of even the power to feel. Sated with pleasure, the individual grows dry, blasé, and indifferent to even the greatest wonders. The sensualist imagines that by giving up their pleasures, they would renounce happiness. But in fact, the more one restrains their senses and learns to live in the peace of the inner self, the more they find themselves glowing with happiness, good health, and a radiant sense of freedom and well-being. We'll now practice the affirmation together, first loudly in a speaking voice. I am strong in myself.
I am strong in myself.
I am complete in myself.
I am complete in myself.
The joy and perfection of the universe
The joy and perfection of the universe
await discovery
await discovery
within my inner being.
within my inner being.
And now a bit more soft in a speaking voice. I am strong in myself.
I am strong in myself.
I am complete in myself.
I am complete in myself.
The joy and perfection of the universe
The joy and perfection of the universe
await discovery
await discovery
within my inner being.
within my inner being.
Now in a whisper, awakening the subconscious mind. I am strong in myself.
I am strong in myself.
I am complete in myself.
I am complete in myself.
The joy and perfection of the universe
The joy and perfection of the universe
awaits discovery
awaits discovery
within my inner being.
within my inner being.
Now silently, superconsciously, at the point between the eyebrows, affirming, I am strong in myself. I am complete in myself. The joy and perfection of the universe awaits discovery within my inner being. And now listening to this prayer, feeling it in your heart as you share with Divine Mother. I crave nothing that the world can give me, Lord. O infinite perfection, make me one with Thee. Om. Welcome, everybody. We're so glad to have all of you here. I think they're oming. I think they might not have. Anyway. So this week from Rays of the One Light, weekly commentaries on the Bible and the Bhagavad Gita, we have a beautiful passage. It's titled, We Are Children of the Light. Truth is one and eternal. Realize oneness with it in your deathless self within. The following commentary is based on the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita and the Bible, inspired by Paramhansa Yogananda. It is common for people to perceive themselves according to their present realities. A person in ill health says, I am ill. Few say, I am well, it is my body that is suffering. People in a low income bracket say, I am poor. Only the unusual person will say, though outwardly I live in poverty, inwardly I am wealthy. Thus, when it comes to moral and spiritual development, people commonly identify themselves with their weaknesses and their mistakes. They consider it almost a sign of humility to say, I am a sinner. Though in effect what this means is that they identify themselves with their sinfulness, not with the soul's power to transcend all limitations in God. The great masters, including Jesus Christ, have always emphasized the divine potential of mankind. To encourage us, they address us as children of light, not of darkness. The Bible, in the Gospel of St. John, chapter 3, makes the point that our true home is not the mud of this earth, but the light of heaven. No man hath ascended up to heaven, it tells us, but him that came down from heaven. This passage continues, even so the Son of Man who is in heaven, emphasizing that Jesus, though he lived on earth, is perceived by the eye of wisdom as conscious, even in human form, of his true reality and heavenly spheres. The way to know God is to live in godly consciousness and not to bewail our imperfection and our distance from God. Jesus said, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." And the Bhagavad Gita states, "Seekers of union with the Lord find him dwelling in their own hearts, but those who, lacking in wisdom, seek him with impure motives, cannot perceive him, however much they struggle to do so." If you want to know God, Paramhansa Yogananda said, live in the thought that you have him already. Thus, through Holy Scripture, God has spoken to mankind. Oh, 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 oh.
Rays of one light and children of light. What a wonderful uh, reminder of what we are. And it's kind of interesting um, when you think about creation and how it's put together. It's kind of like a balance of one over another. Some people believe that creation was molded and put together by clay and we're all sort of made in that way. And then the other one is that we're made from the infinite light and we're a creation of um, the thought or parts of the infinite. And this beautiful reading this week was just a reminder that we are that every single atom, every single part of this universe is a part of that light and how we become. And it's so interesting. Um, but before I go on, it's just a wonderful thing. We were away last weekend in a retreat in New Zealand and some of us, and then there was a beautiful three devotees got their Kriya, which is a great blessing, just not just to Ananda Australia or to themselves, but also to the world, just increasing that light that we're talking about with the Kriya path. And it's interesting when you get together in person, which is happening in Victoria as well. It does strengthen that light, and um, it's kind of an interesting thing because when you're in person, you actually feel that energy, you feel that lightness that's around, and but also on the flip side of it, you also realize that we are still human. We are still of this world. And, there wasn't one talk, one chat, one organized thing. Doesn't matter how much you plan, organize, and put it together, but of this world, there's always something. There's always something that you forget or you mispronounce or you do something different. And it's very easy to get caught up in thinking that things are perfection and but until we are free, that we're all still learning, we're all still changing, we're all on this individual path together. And I'll speak a little bit more about why that happens. What is happening when we're in that world. And it was touched on both of these, and it was even touched on the affirmation. But before I do, I'd like to read from Whispers of Eternity by Paramhansa Yogananda, and it is Demand for Thy Light. So, I am here before Thee, Father, hurling again and again the spears of prayer to pierce the bulwarks of Thy dark silence. Missile after missile of yearning for Thee must surely break down in time the ramparts of my ignorance and delusion. With firm faith, I invoke Thee. Shine before my gaze the searchlights of true wisdom, that I find some chink in those high walls of my ignorance, that I may rescue Thee from the dungeon to which my lower self long ago consigned Thee. Oh, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. It's interesting that we have this world, and I'd like to start at the top. I know that sounds, and then sort of work backwards from there. But when you think about what our master brings or enlightened people bring, we hear it all the time. We hear about this unconditional love. And we think, what a wonderful thing. What a wonderful thing unconditional love is. God has unconditional love, which ultimately sort of puts a dampener on the whole, I'm a sinner and I'm going to hell for eternity, doesn't it? Because that doesn't even align with unconditional love. And in fact, when you think about unconditional love, it's allowing us to understand that we are a part of that, and we have to return to that. And on the road home, we have all these lessons that we have to learn, and we bring them over, and we're ever new in that essence. In fact, I often say that just yesterday we're a different person than we are today. There's a group in Melbourne that are all together. When they leave that house, they're going to be different people than when they arrived. And we're always on this journey of evolution, of moving closer. And nice Swami Devi often remind us that we can only be either moving forward or we're moving backwards, and that's that choice. And that's the beauty of having community and that joyful uplifting of being around each other. It's a reminder that we're always striving for that moving forward. So getting back to unconditional love, what does that mean? Well, let's flip it. What are we all living in? We're all living in conditional love, which is an interesting concept in itself, isn't it? It means that our hearts have conditions on them. And not only conditions that we've placed on them from the minute we've been born into this lifetime, but lifetimes of conditions that we've placed around our love. And what that gives us is a very, 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 very busy mind, because the protector of our heart and the protector of that love is our mind. So constantly we're giving it, whether it's that thing gives me joy, so you send your mind to protect that. And so often we'll be driving along or we'll be doing something, and we'll feel a tightening in the heart. Next thing you know, that the mind goes crazy. Dum, 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 dum. Well, that could be this could be that. That happened because of this. Oh, I can't believe that they'll do that. I'm going to put a condition on that. And constantly we're going through this. If you think about meditation, it's the reversing of that. It's the freeing of those conditions around our heart. And if you think of it in all that we do, it's placing conditions, whether they're good or bad. Even if that heart felt something and you're like, oh, what was it? What was the weather? Oh, the weather was perfect. The weather was great. It was lightning. Oh, no, I saw a rainbow. Ah, well, that must be the reason why I'm happy. So constantly we've got conditions around our feelings, and that's living in that outward way. And going back to meditation, that meditation, in the first lessons we learn in our meditation, we learn how the mind and the breathing are connected with each other. As we slow down our mind, our breathing slows down. As we slow our breathing down, our mind continues to slow down and we lose all these things. And the point of all of this is that we are still enough and free enough to be able to feel that heart in its truest form unconditionally. And we get glimpses of that when we meditate, and glimpses of that when we're around each other in a soulful way, or glimpses of it when we remember that it's the soul, not our actions. It's the soul, not our feelings. It's the soul, not even this body. We are the observer of that and not attached to it. We're not put conditions on it. We're not doing, well, I'll just feel better if I do this, or I'll just do that. And what's beautiful about this, and it's the topic of conversation for Inner Renewal Week and our time away, is we've been given this guru of our times. And that's this guru has actually given us the way forward, given us the jet aeroplane route, given us the techniques, he's given us the way, the psychology, it's given us the way we are meant to live. And it was so beautiful every time we get together as a group. And I'll just, touch on a few things at the retreat in New Zealand. Yogananda would always ask for help or offer something for people to do. And
For Seva.
for Seva, because he saw that as a way of growth. And next thing, if that person knocked back that Seva, this really hit home to us when we were in New Zealand, but he would never ask that person again. And so we had these little things that help us move along, little things like Shanti, when we turn up and we do it during retreats, timeliness. Swami was adamant that if you put on a time, that's when you turned up. It was a respect of the soul. It was a respect of your word. It was a respect of your time frame to be timely. And then the one that I love, which was came out through Yogananda when he was here, but it became a saying all the way from SRF all the way through into Ananda. It was always say yes and make it snappy. And why that is really important in relation to this is that it doesn't give you time to close your heart. It doesn't give you time then for your mind to give all the excuses why you can't do something. It was always yes and make it snappy. And, one of the things that you learn as a part of a community is it's everything about that is coming together, putting together. It was lovely to see that, just the group in Victoria organizing, always all stood up and said, well, what can I bring? What can I do? What can we do? And that's what builds community. And it doesn't just build it from a physical sense, but also a spiritual sense. Everything that develops or that we can grow together, it is about that. And what that does is opens the heart and allows more light in. It allows that pure joy of being together. That's that light that people see because it doesn't give you time to put shades down. It doesn't give you times to create darkness. Because don't forget, we are light. We are the ones with our conditions around what we do. Every time we have a condition, we're pulling a shade down. Every time we have a condition, we're blocking that light from coming in. And there's a beautiful opportunity to sit just that minute moment that in your heart you feel that pinch. Relax and let it go and surrender to our great masters. That's losing that control. It's surrendering to that will. It's allowing the light to come in, not imposing our thoughts, our ideals, our worldliness, which is what these readings were all about, and saying those affirmations, doing japa throughout the day, sharing with each other that opportunity to spark joy in everything that we do. It's such a beautiful opportunity to allow that light in because we are children of light. We, our minds and our emotions and these bodies, which have been created over lifetimes to learn lessons, we still want control over. So letting go of that control. We've been, this universe has been around for millenniums and millenniums of time. It's about letting go and allowing this great master to be at work. And I'll just finish with one more thing, which was a beautiful thing. If you think about just this very moment, whether it's coming together, whether it's clicking that button to be online, whether it's sitting where you are, this very moment when you surrender is a gift. And it's been put together well before we have had any control over it. We just have to allow that light to come in now that we've done that, given that moment, that we've decided to do something and surrendered to these great masters. And after that, we have that opportunity then to continue to grow. And when we grow, there's beautiful lessons in this because if you think about everything that gives growth, I think of a gym in some way that someone turns up to the gym. You don't turn up to the gym and every week it becomes easier and lighter and more fun. Every opportunity to grow will have an element of releasing something in that pain. If you're often the resistance, I won't say pain, but that resistance that you get, the sooner you learn to love that resistance and let go of it, the freer you become. Just think of every time that I have a bit of resistance and I breathe through it and I relax through that and offer it up to these great masters, that opportunity is a little bit more freedom. It's a little bit more choice of true freedom within these great masters. And it's such a gift every time, every little opportunity that we can release that condition around our heart allows more light in. Joy.
Thank you, sweet Nara. So, one thing that those of you who have been here for service each week know that I like to connect the affirmation with the reading from Rays of the One Light and think about why Swamiji paired them. Because as you know, he's set this up for a whole year, the week reading and the week affirmation to go together, and they each have a theme. So when you think about self-control and being a child of the light, why do you think that self-control is a part of the process? So just mentally, just, ask yourself why and have a think, perhaps how it relates to your ability to meditate and serve, because on our path, those two things, meditation and service, are the way to be free. And then opening your eyes. And one of the things that came to my mind when I asked myself this question was the yamas and niyamas. So on our path, we are taught of Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga, the 8 limbs. And part of those limbs are each aspect of the path that helps us to achieve union, which is freedom in the light, or that light consciousness, that Christ consciousness and awareness of unity. So the yamas and niyamas are essentially elements of self-control of your being so that you can be free. You can live in the light. And why is that important? We all know that Yogananda shared with us, he reminded us that those 3 things that tempt us the most on our path to union, that bring us into Maya, are sex, money and power, and drugs and alcohol. So those are all things that affect your meditation and your service. It's not that complex, is it? It's really clear. There's a saying that is really fun to think about when you go into your meditation. It's as within, so without. So anything that's going on that you're behaving in, habitually, doing every day, those are all things that you can look for in your meditation. And in your meditation, how that goes can then be brought into your daily life and the things you start noticing in your day-to-day life. So it's just something that you can do on your own. Part of our Future Saints Club that Joe Tish has asked us all to try to join in our own way is to practice this introspection, which is really important on the yogi's journey because you can start to see what patterns. He said, though, don't try to do them all at once. But if you pick one each month, that was his, call to action during inner renewal retreat. Pick one each month that you can really focus on. So something in your life that affects your meditation and your service to your guru. I'm not talking about just your day-to-day work. I mean, to Guruji's work and how that goes out into the world. How can you bring positivity, energy, and what Swamiji said to all of us, most important, harmony. Ananda, he said, will not exist without harmony. It's a beautiful thing. Now, just to remind us of our yamas and niyamas, again, ways that we can control the life force, which something Yandev reminds us all is to be successful in anything on the spiritual path, you need energy. And we need, as yogis, to know how to control our energy, our life force. Is it going up or down? Is it going in or out? Again, these things are simple, yet how often do we forget them in the moment? Which is why we get Kriya, so we can control ourselves. So these are the yamas: ahimsa, so non-violence; truthfulness, non-lying; non-stealing; non-sensuality; and non-greed. Now, Bharat gave me a really incredible example, which I've always reminded myself. He used to be not only head of the Nayaswami order, but he's the one that sharing nature. He founded it. And one of the things he said as a renunciate is even the desire to be touched and held or hugged or whatever it might be is actually limiting you. He said the yogi that overcomes that desire to have a like feeling and sensory bound in that way, he said you then gain the city to go into infinity with your consciousness. That is extraordinary to think about. So that was something that he was trying to master, is completely overcoming that in its non-sensuality. The others, the niyamas, cleanliness, which we know is purity of thought and heart and physical; contentment, tapasya or austerity; swadhyaya. I don't know why I can't say that right now. Self-study, which is the introspection, and of course, devotion. So those are all ways that we apply our willpower and our self-control to be children of the light, to purify our entire being so that we have unity with that light. And that's that goal that we're all seeking. So one of our little things that we like to do when we end is ask you what you're going to take from today and start doing. But really do it. Don't just think you'll do it. Commit. Maybe those of you that are there in person and those of you that are online, you could put it in the chat. But they say that that positive pressure of telling other people your goal helps you to then achieve it, because people, just them knowing that you've said it out loud is really powerful. Or if you're a very private person, you can just write it down in a journal that you keep close by your bed or something that you can do in the morning or in your meditation room. Now, some of you know about the group of Buddhist monks that walked across America. So they started in Texas and then they walked every day, miles and miles and miles. I think on average it was like 20 something miles a day. And they ended their walk at Washington, D.C. And when you look at the talk that was given that day, which if you are curious, it's on YouTube. It's really profound. But the message that the Buddhist monk gave was, start your day by saying that you will live in peace. You will be peaceful. Did you see the light just shine on Master when we said that? That is all, and write it down. Even that positive pressure with yourself. you don't even have to use the word pressure, but that it's a commitment and an intention. And he said, just doing that every morning when you wake up and every day will start changing the world through each person's intention to live with peace, to live with harmony, and in our path to meditate each day, to serve Guruji, his work, directly his work is so important right now. We're being asked to be soldiers of the light, as well as children in our service to him. That joy and innocence and purity of mind, thought, heart, when we serve Guruji as a chela, a little child of his, and how beautiful that will help the world become when even just this little group here today, I think there's like 10 of us, someone else can count for me, but even that little group of 10 souls that now have this homework assignment, think of all the people that you see, interact with, live with, connect with on a daily basis, and how much that can change things for the better. So never underestimating the power of that life force control and that affirmation that you are peace, you are light, you are a child of this great guru, this great Yogananda, and how you can be a carrier of that portable paradise in this world, never letting go of that. And we have some, just a really beautiful piece. Let me just get it ready while you're sharing something.
I just wanted to share, and it was just a spout of wisdom from Shanti as she sat there, and she had a flash of a smell and an experience of when she was younger, 16, and it came within an instant, within a flash. And she said, even if you do it right now, think of how long ago it was when you were just a teenager or you were just that. And you say it's just, and how in an instant that disappears. On top of everything that Kalamali shared so wonderfully, there's got to be a sense of urgency. It's got to be, and that's why that expression of say yes and make it snappy is so important, because in a blink, you're going to be in your 80s. You're going to be not as mobile. You're not going to be able to walk around. You're going to be that wisdom of saying yes. It's that time where you say, "Oh, I'm only going to meditate this long because that's all I've got." And then you think about all the other times that you throughout the day that you can give that opportunity. And she said, if there's anything I can share of wisdom right now, it's say yes and make it snappy, and don't put it off thinking that you've got time, because time goes very, very quickly. And we all know that it's nearly Easter, and it was only just yesterday that it was Christmas. So give it that sense of urgency. This is an opportunity to be free.
The green summer fade and winter draw near. My Lord, in your presence I live without fear. Through tempest, through snows, through turbulent tide, the touch of your hand is my strength and my guide. I ask for no riches that death can destroy. I crave only thee, your love and your joy. I ask for no riches that death can destroy. I crave only thee, your love and your joy. The dancers will pass, the singing must end. I welcome the darkness with you for my friend. The green summer fade and winter draw near. My Lord, in your presence I live without fear. Through tempest, through snows, through turbulent tide, the touch of your hand is my strength and my guide. I ask for no riches that death can destroy. I crave only thee, your love and your joy. I ask for no riches that death can destroy. I crave only thee, your love and your joy. The dancers will pass, the singing must end. I welcome the darkness with you for my friend.
Let's take that energy and inspiration now and visualize this planet. And also anyone in need of healing that you know. And just visualizing this light and this harmony, this peace, joy, all those qualities that we've shared in satsang today. And rubbing our hands together, let's send that out into the world. Peace. Amen. Thank you all.